Hello and welcome to the weekly debriefing. This week we're going to talk about infographics as well as the Diffusion of Innovations discussion. Infographics are similar to posters, but they focus on the use of graphics rather than text. So you've probably seen these a lot of different places like in the pharmacy or doctor's office, and they display a lot of data, but you're able to glance at it really quickly and get an idea of what it is conveying because of the colors and the placement of the images. So for example, this infographic covers a lot of information about grammar in terms of sentence structure, verb types, punctuation marks, all that kind of stuff, but it does so in a way that is graphically appealing and not overwhelming. So you're going to get to create your own infographic today. You get to pick one of two topics. The first topic is evaluating websites, which is something that students will do as they learn to evaluate. They'll need to learn to evaluate websites as they do research online. So they need to know if the website is legitimate or not, includes biased information, that kind of thing. So you have the option of making an infographic about that. You also have the option of making an infographic about being a good digital citizen. So as students use technology, they become consumers and producers of technology. They need to know all the pieces related to being a digital citizen, involving things like the proper use of technology, security, treatment of others online, evaluation of online tools, and those types of things. In addition to creating your own infographic, you're going to participate in the Diffusion of Innovations discussion. And this is a conversation that we've had on and off this entire semester. And this is going to look specifically at why do we as people adopt some technologies but not others? What makes us adopt some technologies and not other technologies? And why do some people have a tendency to adopt technologies quicker than other people? Okay, so if we're looking in our Google Classroom, here you have evaluating websites, which is a link where I've given you different resources to help you learn how to evaluate a website in order to create your infographic about it. Also, I have linked to digital citizenship, just different links that you can look at to learn about the different aspects of digital citizenship and what you might create your infographic about. To create your actual infographic, you can choose between two websites. You can choose Pictochart or Vengage. So here's a video of how to use Pictochart. Here's a video of how to use Vengage. So pick which one you want, and you will create your infographic. Here are also some examples of some infographics that other people have created in prior semesters. Just make sure that you are not just copying theirs and that you're just using them for inspiration. And so here is the document that will include how you're going to be graded. You should have an infographic that is either about evaluating websites or being a digital citizen. It should be kid-friendly, written in terms and using graphics that a 3rd through 5th grade student would understand. It has proper use of visuals as well as clip art, images, that kind of thing. Remember, the focus is more on the images and the display and not so much the text itself. And then you will get the link to your Pictochart or Vengage and submit it into Google Classroom. All right, and then the next piece is the Diffusion of Innovations discussion. So we're going to open this up and we're going to read about the diffusion of innovations. So there's multiple pieces of this theory by Everett Rogers. One is the levels of adoption, so how people adopt. There's different levels. We have innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. That is kind of the flow of how people go about adopting any given technology or any given innovation. And then we also have factors that apply to how people adopt. So if a technology has a relative advantage, we see it as being something that can help us. If it is compatible with my thoughts and how I believe in teaching and learning. If it is not too complex, I don't see it as being too complex. I have the ability to try it myself, and I have the ability to observe the results. I'm more likely to actually adopt the technology. And so think about these things when you're looking at how technology has been rolled out in your practicum, whether it was forced, whether or not there was a nice rollout, whether or not training was provided, because all of those factors can determine whether or not a person is going to actually be willing to adopt it. All right, so in the discussion, you're going to answer these questions. It's going to ask you things about what you think about the different levels of adoption, what you think about the factors related to adoption, how COVID has impacted this, the fact that we really didn't get an option to trial or observe a lot of technologies when we went fully online for COVID. We just had to do it. This natural model of how people adopt different technologies was not a thing during COVID. We all just had to immediately adopt it. So those played an impact as well. So you want to post your original response and reply to others, and this tells you what you need to reply to. When you reply to them, you're going to look at their number 5 and give some options for that, and you'll post that in Google Classroom.